name is Edward Douglas. I'm the creative director and narrative director on Tom Clancy's HAWX 2. What we're really bringing to Tom Clancy's HAWX 2 is all aspects of modern aerial warfare, not just dogfighting in the skies. This time we have traditional air combat maneuvering, of course, ACM. We also have AC-130 gunship missions, Tom Clancy-style aerial espionage missions in UAVs, so unmanned aerial vehicles, full landings and takeoffs, really the entire experience of a pilot from the minute he gets into the plane to when he lands at the end of the mission for many, many missions.
That's a confirmed kill, 2-6.
So as narrative director on HAWX 2, I wanted to bring two big things to the game that HAWX 1 didn't have. First was a deeper story experience, and the game has 3 different factions that you follow a story from different points of view: Russian faction, British faction, and HAWX faction with America. As well as I want to put the player in the pilot's seat. I want the player to always feel grounded in this world. He's there in the briefing rooms. He's there before the mission starts. He gets into the cockpit and takes off and lands. You're not just spawning in the air at the beginning of every mission. You're following the story from the whole experience of the pilot. So HAWX 2 has taken us to a whole bunch of new iconic locations. We're using the GOI satellite technology we had in HAWX 1. We have maps up to 130 by 130 kilometers in size, and you'll see even more detail in the levels this time. When you get really close down to the ground, it feels like much more a real full world than it did in HAWX 1. One thing we found in HAWX 1 and in real air combat these days is air-to-air combat isn't that close. It's not that personal. You see your target a couple miles away, you lock on, you press a red button, he explodes 2 miles away. That's real, that's authentic. Maybe that's a simulation, but that's not what we wanted to do in HAWX 2. So we're bringing dogfights a lot closer, a lot tighter. The AIs are smarter. They're going to have all the same kind of defenses and strategies that you use. They're going to use flares to force you to come in closer with cannons sometimes. They're going to try to get much, much closer to you, use different kind of maneuverings. We have some missions where they try to outmaneuver you around mountains, around oil rigs, around all sorts of environmental obstacles and try to force you to make mistakes. So I think the dogfights are a lot more fun and visceral and interactive than ever before. So I feel like we have even deeper immersion into the experience of being a pilot and up in the air with the new cutscenes and cinematics that we didn't have in HAWX 1. It's a much richer experience. You can see your plane. You can see your plane on the deck of the carrier in the airbase, and you can feel this big, powerful airplane the way you didn't really get to experience in HAWX 1, where you just saw it up in the air, third-person point of view. We're making it feel so much better.
Where the hell did they come from?
So HAWX 2 has one big story that you see from 3 different points of view, and when you play through the campaign, there's distinct sections of the American part of the campaign, the Russian campaign, the British campaign, and it's all part of one big integrated story. So the kind of mission variety we have in HAWX 2 is much richer than in HAWX 1. We have the UAV missions, we have gunship missions, as well as a lot of the traditional, fun, impactful dogfight missions. So each mission has unique feels, unique story, unique part of the campaign. So we have the same kind of career progression as we had in HAWX 1. The full campaign, also playable in 4-player co-op. Every mission, every gameplay variety. And as you go through the campaign, you gain mastery over different planes. You unlock more and more things for planes that you can use in replay missions in multiplayer. We also have arcade challenge mode series where you can replay different missions under different circumstances, more hardcore versions of missions you already know, different scenarios to challenge yourself for a new challenge. In HAWX 2, we're really making a richer single-player campaign, deeper variety, deeper gameplay, as well as far more variety outside of the campaign with different challenge modes, multiplayer modes, new team battle, multiplayer modes, up to 8 players at a time. HAWX 2 is introducing new team battle multiplayer modes. In HAWX 1, we had we had adversarial multiplayer, dogfights, player versus player. We found a lot of the action was players flying around trying to get lock-ons each other. You get a lock-on, you fire and forget, and the guy with the most kills at the end wins the point score. What we wanted to do in HAWX 2 is broaden that experience, still have player versus player, but have much deeper strategy and involvement with the different teams, with the battlefield. So we're introducing a series of new team battle scenarios where not only are you player versus player, there's territorial acquisition, there's points-based battles against opposing forces as well as the opposing players. There's upgrades and reward systems, different upgrades that you can use to increase your damage, to decrease damage against you, radar jamming, all sorts of different kind of new tactics. One player can choose aerial dominant vehicles, where another player can choose ground force attack weapons packages to create much deeper strategy. And Tom Clancy's HAWX 2 is going to be on the shelves September 3rd.
Maybe
Yeah.
although it could make us a nice little backdrop.
If I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.